Ann Coulter, good to see you in the nation's capital.
Good to see you, looking tan, rested, and ready.
I know. I'm sorry I wasn't here for the launch of your book, but now we can make up for it. The book is Resistance. It's out there. It's killing it as usual.
Yes.
And are people, what kind of feedback? Are all the right people hating it?
No, they gave up on trying to argue with me.
Resistance is futile, by the way, is the name of the book. I think I said it was Resistance, and no, that's not
Resistance is futile, how the Trump-hating left lost its collective mind. Liberals gave up on arguing with me about 5 books back. Now they pretend I don't exist.
Oh, no, they're just ignoring you. And sadly, I've noticed some of the conservative media ignores you, too. You're not. What is that all about,
I have no idea. If you ever find out, let me know.
I will ask all the right. I'm sort of sad that you didn't wear the pink hat on the cover, though. That would have been. Did you consider the pink hat?
Well, the one thing I did consider was crossing my arms and giving the white power sign. Oh my gosh, the best news item of the year.
Which most people would confuse with okay, but apparently not.
Or just resting your hands that way.
So okay, thumbs up. And I guess hang loose for your Hawaiians. Those are the most ubiquitous hands. Well, I guess this is a ubiquitous hand signal as well.
Right.
And suddenly that's now white power. Who knew? I did not get that memo. If you're a Klansman, wouldn't you come up with something a little more unique?
Well, you know how it came. 4chan made it up to scam the Atlantic. And I think they also invented Pepe the Frog then, too.
Yeah.
So we have the left losing its mind over what some, recent college graduates thought would be funny.
But you talk about that in your book, how they are insane.
Yes.
You saw yesterday, every 5 minutes there was an interruption in that room.
No, and I'd really like to, except you know what the answer would be, to quiz them and ask them what opinion disagree with. They wouldn't know. He could be Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They don't care. They're going to stand in the back of rooms and, you're killing me!
Is it that Trump has driven them insane? They've always been insane and Trump just brings it out of them? Or if Cruz had won, if John Kasich had won and nominated somebody, they'd
Trump
still be
is
doing
worse.
this. Yeah.
They are crazy. I did write demonic. They are a mob. They are violent. The tendencies were always there. But with Trump, they just find him so icky, and they can't believe this parvenu, this tacky, gold-plated everything beat the most qualified person ever to run for president. Humiliating all of them. After, if you hate watch, and I think you do, MSNBC. Remember Lawrence O'Donnell and how smug he was about how Trump was going to be a loser. Big loser, 85% chance, according to the New York Times, that Hillary was going to win. Yeah. It added insult to injury, and even the sane ones among them kind of lost their minds and got lost in this demented Hillary Clinton conspiracy theory.
I always wanted to ask you this. You mentioned Lawrence O'Donnell and how smug they all were. You know the videos out there showing election night on MSNBC.
Yes.
Do you ever look at these?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You are the best one out there. Actually starts with you on the Bill Maher show, right? When Bill Maher asks you who is the nominee, and Ann Coulter sitting there on real time saying, right now, Donald Trump, and they cut to Joy Reid. Right? You will look like you must get such satisfaction out of that.
Well,
more so than the rest of us.
Yes, the sad thing is, you might be able to find them on the Wayback Machine, but for the next week, this is one of the things I hate the most about the left, and I don't like when our side picks it up. But the headlines of, for a week afterwards, it was, watch Joy Reid destroy Ann Coulter with a look. Yes. And I'm thinking, how do you get satisfaction with someone making a face? I mean, I'm right or I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but no one's destroying with a face.
Yes, no, they shredded you with the face, maybe, but not destroyed. That's the other one they like to use. Absolutely shreds Ann Coulter.
Often they are my favorite videos of myself. Someone destroying because they called me a poopy head.
The book is
nailed me.
Resistance is Futile, how the Trump-hating left lost its collective mind by the one and only Ann Coulter. We're here at the Federation for American Immigration Reform, and I think it's fair to ask, I ask you every time, and I know you promised you wouldn't really talk about it too much, but where's the wall? And
I know. No, I have a column that's going up as soon as I get a break from radio. I'm going to post it, attacking Trump for his attacks on Sessions. He's the one guy doing anything good on immigration. I'm sorry, saving the nation is a little more important than irritating liberals with a bunch of prosecutions.
The Washington Post just wrote an article saying that gun control could be the game-changing topic in Virginia for the House races, all right? And they pointed to a poll. I kid you not, in that poll, gun control is number 11 on the list, with 1% saying it's important. Immigration is number 4 on the list.
And that was the Washington Post headline.
Yeah, and that's the Washington Post headline, is it's all about gun control. Why aren't Republicans making more of a deal? Every time they run on immigration, they win.
Well, at this point, I think if they ran on immigration, people might yawn and say, been there, done that, because we really have been scammed. I mean, I hate to say this, but when I saw Trump speaking a few weeks ago, remember he spoke to the ICE agents, and he was actually really sweet with them, and he called, it was when you were in Hawaii, you may have missed it.
No, I saw the picture. Is this when he hugged the American flag that was on stage or something like that?
I forget if he did that, but he called one guy up, and the guy didn't want to speak. He was an ICE agent, and you could see he was kind of embarrassed. And Trump is joking with him and says, come on, you speak beautiful English. He speaks beautiful English. And the guy was laughing. Everyone was having a good time. And the left tried to turn that into an attack on him for being an Hispanic. No, the guy was laughing. He was shy about speaking. It was very sweet. Trump is very interpersonally kind, and they are awful to go after him for that. But he did say to the ICE agents, after all the incredible people, the same stuff he says about the Dreamers, that kind of thing. He said, I'll never forget you. And I had this
never forget you.
Nom flashback to him saying that 800 times to the angel moms during the campaign. And you know who he forgot? The angel moms.
Yeah. Are you worried that,
I think he's got to do something. Let me answer. After attacking him, let me say what he needs to do and what Republicans. They need to do something. No more words. No more promises. No more, I'm going to build the wall. Start the wall. You're the commander-in-chief.
But now the conventional wisdom in town is they can't do anything before the election because it'll hurt them, and maybe they'll do something after the election. I'm kidding you. I'm not kidding you. That's what the smart set says. But why? Are you worried that the reason Trump won is because, listen, these guys have all promised you, and then once they win election, they don't do anything.
And now Trump did it and hasn't done anything except Sessions. Look, he can brag about the stuff Sessions has done, but instead he's on Twitter attacking Sessions.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break here because we got plenty more to talk about. I want to ask Ann how she's enjoying being in D.C. now because after the McCain funeral, we've all decided to get along.
Is it over?
Everyone's reaching across the aisle. There's no more partisanship. There's no more fighting, just like in the Kavanaugh hearings.
I thought I could make week 8.
It's 4:14. We continue with Ann Coulter here on WMAL.
The stories that have been breaking while you've been at work. This is the Larry O'Connor Show.
Diamond and Silk coming up, and also in the 5 o'clock hour, Victoria Tonsing's going to give us her take because everyone's talking about U.S. v. Nixon and Kavanaugh's response to that today. We're going to give you up-to-the-minute coverage of the Kavanaugh hearings. Ann Coulter, you're a pretty smart law Cornell kind of human being, right? Are you watching these hearings?
Of course. I was so disappointed that Zena Bash didn't show up in a Confederate flag dress today, just as a gag.
That would have been great. That would have been great. Of course, she was accused of being a white supremacist with I kid you not. This is how CNN did this yesterday. All right. They
don't care that she's half Mexican, half Jewish, because you can still be a white supremacist. Look at Stephen Miller. That's what my Twitter feed says.
I was told half the Nazis were Jewish, apparently. I saw that as well. No, they showed all of Cory Booker's opening statement, right? And then at the end of Cory Booker's statement, CNN cuts in and says, okay, well, we're going to cut away now. We're going to do a discussion and analysis of Bob Woodward's new book. So they do that. And then in the middle of that roundtable, they say, we got to stop because Kamala Harris is now beginning.
Oh, really?
Right. But, of course, in between there was a Republican making a statement.
That's funny. I liked the Cory Booker statement because it was basically a tribute to Brown versus Board of Education. I think that overruled precedent, and we celebrate that particular overruling. If you're going to make your whole hearing about you must never overrule precedent, Roe v. Wade, Roe v. Wade, Roe v. Wade, maybe don't cite the most celebrated case of a precedent being overruled.
If you don't overrule precedent, I think Jim Crow would still
right.
It's just as much. I'm not sure about that, or the Missouri Compromise. It still continues to be an audition for 2020, right? That's why they're showing Kamala Harris.
Yes.
They're all running. How many Democrat candidates are there going to be in Iowa?
Well, if Kamala throws her hat in the ring, it's Kamala.
Really?
You heard it here first.
You think she's got it?
Yes.
Because she checks the boxes.
Yes, the only shot Cory Booker has, and he might do it, is transition to a woman. Because I don't know if you've been watching him, but he's getting a little girly.
You've had good things to say about Cory Booker in the past, haven't you?
I don't think so.
Never? I could have sworn I thought you say something nice about it. I mean, back when he was still Newark mayor.
That
perhaps.
could be. He may have done something good. I don't like all the Republicans sucking up to him, and I know, let's do something bipartisan. We'll release all the criminals. In my lifetime, that is the only government policy that has actually changed the world for the better. The first Reagan and Bush judges, but Reagan especially, and then Giuliani, and Giuliani's policies spreading out.
Actually incarcerating people.
And stop and frisk, that sort of thing. Just tough on crime.
Yeah.
What is your job as the government? Is to protect people. It's like the number one job, the same way the number one job of the federal government is to protect us from outside invaders, thus we need a wall. But here, this wonderful government policy, and back in the 60s, because of this judge here in D.C., Judge Bazelon, Thomas Sowell writes about this all the time, the streets ran with blood, thousands, probably tens of thousands, probably 100,000. Maybe more deaths are attributable to these idiotic court decisions. Ramsey Clark under the Carter administration, the one wonderful thing the government has ever done is get tough on criminals. Oh, but Jared Kushner comes along and he had a meeting with Cory Booker and I have an idea. Let's just... And then it's all the old cliches from Judge Bazelon.
Yeah.
And Ramsey Clark, their argument was, if we just show criminals that we appreciate them and we trust them, they will reward us with good behavior. Rapes, murders, robberies, it's total mayhem. Why do we have to go through this again?
By the way, we're talking to Ann Coulter, in case you didn't recognize her very recognizable voice. We were talking quickly about treason, my favorite book of your books, although I do love Adios America as well. And I'm reading Whittaker Chambers' Witness right now, just finishing it. And I realize everyone who pushes back on the idea of an out-of-control Justice Department and the deep state and these people working with it, all you need to do is look at our history, the stuff that you categorized in Witness about how they're really... And it's obvious, isn't it, that this has been going on for quite some time.
Yes.
The difference is back then it was the Soviet Union.
That's a really good point. Yes, well, whenever you have a bureaucracy, it's going to be captured and it's going to be corrupt. This is why people like us are for smaller governments and smaller units, because whatever it is, however good the intentions are, say a jobs training program pushed by the president's daughter-in-law, or daughter rather, no matter how good the name is, it's a jobs program for more government bureaucrats.
You keep throwing it out there. I have to add, you're really not happy with the people the president has brought into this White House.
I think he would be so much better if he were in the White House alone, no one around him, and he just woke up, and the first instinct, you throw a glass of cold water on him in the middle of the night. He would wake up with some great idea for the country. Just implement it, Mr. President. Great idea.
Who's the one person in the White House right now that you have faith in, other than the president?
Can we go to the Department of Justice? I have faith in Jeff Sessions.
It's 4:24. We'll continue with Ann Coulter here on WMAL.
This is the Larry O'Connor Show.
The book is Resistance is Futile. The guest and author is my favorite, Ann Coulter, who's in town. It's always good when you're in town.
I know. It's so fun.
I hope we're getting drunk later. I said that out loud. The family separation at the border. Was that like was it a bad policy? Was it badly implemented? Did the president blink when he pulled back from it? What happened
I think he blinked when he pulled back. Did you see that his public approval rating among Hispanics went up during that period?
Because they know what's going on.
Trump, your campaign, go back to the campaign, go back to the rallies, go back to the people. They know what's going on. They know it's a scam. It's just an ACLU scam. I do write, again, a little about it in my column this week. But no, the ACLU forged this phony consent decree, with...
Back in the Clinton era. With only 20 days.
Right, with Attorney General Janet Reno. This is how liberals, it's one of their little tricks for getting, these two opposed sides, they hate one another. ACLU, Janet Reno, how will they ever have a meeting of minds? No, they're both on the same side.
Yeah, and if the media were really covering what was going on at the border right now with young adults or juveniles or whatever, if the pictures it would look like a soccer team from Venezuela, because
from MS-13.
Yeah, they're all tattooed 16-year-old or maybe even older kids.
Yes.
But that's not what we're getting. We're getting the children and we're getting the families.
Yes, they're big fat liars and they've gone mad.
But Trump knows that.
Well, he may not. He surrounded himself with the swamp in the White House. If he wants to be happy, go out and do his rallies.
And Coulter, the indispensable one, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. So
You're
good to see you.
always welcome here. You know that.